So I'm sitting here with Sandra.
Hi.
Hi. And Sandra has been doing my program and my client the last few months. And I am loving interviewing and talking to my program people because who better to talk to and share and hear what you've been going through, what your struggles are, what's working, what you're doing that is making you feel better. So we could just dive right in. I even love what you just said before we got on this call about we were talking about boundaries being pushed and what would happen to you before and what's happening now. Should we just jump right to it? Because I know a lot of
Yeah.
people out there, boundaries are the biggest one, even if you know you have them. What I've learned with this work is then how to implement them, excuse me, so that we're not pushed. So it's like once we learn them and we start doing them, then I feel like we get tested in a way to see how it's almost like if you go to the gym and you do strengthening training and you lift weights and then you keep upping the weight.
Yes. It's like to see whether you're actually putting those boundaries in place and whether you follow through. So the follow through is the big thing at the end. It's like you can put a boundary in, but if you don't actually just if you sit there and you think, all right, I put it in, and then you go back and you think, oh, I'll just do it because it's easier on me stress, or you can actually sit it out with your emotions and just let it take its course. And you know the right route is to let it take its course. Because if you put boundaries in and you don't, well, you're ending up with the same saga as you had before, and nobody learns anything from it.
That's a great point. So you're saying sit with the discomfort of learning how to implement the boundaries, let it ride itself out.
Yes,
That's a
yeah,
really good point.
that's
I think that's
yeah.
why we go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
No, I was just going to say because that's what I'm doing at the moment because I've got a boundary in and I've got one of them, well, two of them actually kicking off at the moment.
Right. Like right as we are doing our call just now, you were
Yeah,
pushed your
they're not
boundaries.
happy with the rules I've put in place, and they got to do stuff that they feel uncomfortable with. But they're of an age where they can do stuff, and they expect me to do it, and I'm not doing it.
Well, that's the
So
best lesson you can teach children or family members to it's like we think we have to take care of people, but when we actually really say, hey, here's how you can do it, and I lovingly set you free so I'm not codependent anymore, it's okay however they react, because you're actually not only are you serving yourself, making sure you feel good, because if
yeah,
we as a human, if we don't feel good and we're feeling stressed or anxious, no matter what we do, we're not good for anyone. And then,
yes,
especially when you do it with children or family members, then they learn I can rely on myself. So when they go out in the world, they have those same tools.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. Still hard because my brain's like saying, just do it," and the rest of my body's saying, "Nope, just sit with
That's
it."
beautiful. So the brain, and that leads to the addictive thoughts. That's so important to remember. If we remember that, then we don't feel so crazy. We're used to thinking a certain way your whole life. Just do it to either get to peace or safety or love. And then you're so grounded now in your body that your body's like, nope, just sit with it. So you're detoxing. I'm getting like a little chill because I know this feeling. You're detoxing off of the old programming of codependence and taking a lot of crap.
Yeah, 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 that's it. And with the new as well, I think you change the pattern. I've been learning, you change the pattern of people, and thought was coming in. You
You
change the
change
pattern of it all, and you build new synapses with that. So it leads you into a different way of thinking, a more positive way of thinking. But it's just trying to get over those hurdles and be comfortable with yourself doing it.
And I love that's beautiful because I love how you first said it. You were saying before your head would spin, before you had boundaries, your head would spin. You could
Yeah.
say it again. And now, so tell us a little bit about that. What happened before and what happened now from doing this work?
Oh, it was like you were overwhelmed. Your body was overwhelmed because it was like having, when people push you, it's like having somebody gnawing at you constantly. your stomach starts to go in knots, your head goes in knots, you kind of think, so you're in fight or flight. You're trying to calm down, but you're not able to do that because your thought pattern is just all over the place. Whereas now I take a breath and I think, okay, I can feel it, and that's okay because I feel the emotion. It's not me. It's just my body telling me that it's okay to feel like that. And with I breathe, I can sort of figure it out properly in my head and say, nope, that's not happening. So,
Beautiful. That right there,
yeah.
you just, and I love, wait, you said something right before that. That was so good. It's not me. Most people are so identified. That's very spiritual, quantum physics. That is very high level to know that. We need to start bringing that awareness. If all of us could too, when we have those thoughts and feelings, it's not me.
Yes.
So that point, and then the other one you said, no matter what's happening, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And you're interrupting that pattern.
Yes. And until we'll interrupt the pattern, we've got to interrupt the pattern to make it move forward. Yeah. And it's just learning those things, and it's trial and error, I suppose, but we do it.
Well, you're amazing because the moment you started working with me in the program, you immediately started to put boundaries into place and you immediately started to get results. It's not saying that the road was always perfect. It was shaky and bumpy, but you kept feeling better and being reminded that this is actually clear for yourself. It's self-love. You're being very clear. And then the important part is people in your family or in your life are showing up now different around you. And you're getting more of what you want.
Yes. Yeah. People are sort of listening and getting it because I'm sticking to what I'm thinking and feeling. And I'm saying, no, I'm not doing that. And no, why they don't like the word no. And they're so used to me just saying, oh, I'll do this. Oh, I'll do that. Yes, don't worry about it. I'll do that. I'll do this just for an easy life. But that it isn't an easy life because I'm the one left exhausted and frazzled and disrespected and walked upon. So putting boundaries in, it's like they think, oh, what's happened to Ma? What's happened to my wife? That's not who normally comes to the table. But for me, it was like, I'm good with that. Yes. And it felt good. It felt like I had taken control of me for the first time in a long time. And they pushed back. And even, I mean, my husband's come home tonight. He's had the 2 children there and they're both pushing the boundaries with him. And he said, oh, Sandra, they're driving me insane. And I said, just feel it and just let it go. I said, don't give in and just let it go. And he went, right. He says, I feel like I'm going to blow. I went, no, just feel it and let it go.
Beautiful. And wouldn't you say you're better at doing that now because you are making space in your nervous system and in your body from your old wounds, your old stuff?
Yes. Yeah. I didn't realize I had so much trauma. You don't think about the anxiety that you hold in your body as being trauma. Yes. Nobody tells you those things when you're a little child growing up. It's like I was brought up with seen and not heard. Nobody shared emotions. So it wasn't cuddles and things. It was stiff upper lip and things. So you had to figure everything out yourself, or you felt like you had to. And you thought everything that was normal life. But I used to look out and think, well, I'm sure that's not right. But you get to a point where you're waking up every morning, you've got anxiety, you've got knots in your stomach, and you think, another day like this, is this all I got? So you get to the point when that's when I saw your Facebook page and thought, what is this? I need to look at this. And that's when I switched it on. Somebody guided me there, and I clicked it, and I was asking my girlfriend, can you have a look on this and tell me if I'm going crazy? This is what I feel like I need to have. And she was like, oh, you do. You need to get on there. Aww. And that was it. And as soon as you called me and had that chat, it was like, oh, I felt better just by having that conversation. I didn't feel crazy anymore because I felt when you've got anxiety 24/7, every day of the week, you're living on a knife's edge. That's what it feels like. And you
It
get up in the
hurts.
morning, you think, what kind of day am I going to have? I'm praying, I'm having a good day. You look for all the little windows where you can, oh, that was great today. That, but you don't get a taste of it every day. Whereas
Right.
now, since I've done the program and I've done the workshops with you, and we've had what calls and we've sat through the guidance and understanding what trauma is in the nervous system and how it actually holds the traumas you have in your life, it's awakening. It's really like liberating. It feels good. I got up this morning and I thought, what a wonderful day. Every day I'm thankful for a new day. And I've got to say, in the last 2 months, touch wood, I have had 90% where I have not felt anxious. And it's a wonderful feeling because when you've had it for so long, it's a horrible feeling. So it's amazing. I feel
You
alive again.
That is so mind blowing how fast you work. It's only been 2 months and you immediately, and because you immediately took care of yourself, put your boundaries in place, that is why the anxiety went away. Half of the
Yeah.
battle is awareness. You learned, you
Yes.
understood, oh, this is what happens. I've taken years of this kind of behavior. You've had abuse even in your adult life. So your
Yeah.
adrenaline built up and you live with all this. And then as you start to understand, it immediately starts to diminish because you don't feel so crazy. And then you
Yeah.
let that energy out more and more by doing the work.
Doing the
And
work.
yeah, and you immediately dove in. That's why I'm loving talking to you and Teresa, because you've only been in the program a few months and your results, because people will ask me a lot, how long, how quick, how long does this take? How quick? There's never an answer, but I'll tell you this, you do the work right away. I was just like you and Teresa. I immediately started to feel better because it's
Yeah.
your body crying out to you, pay attention to me. I'm being walked on. I need to release this. Love me. And the second you go, okay, I'll do it. It's like, it calms down. It's
It
not that
does. It's
complicated.
amazing. No.
Amazing. It is. It's amazing.
Understanding that, yeah.
Wait, say that again and
Is
say it's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah, say
Isn't
that again.
it?
With your,
Amazing.
I love your accent. Amazing. I kept talking over you. Sorry. Yes, it is, right?
It is. It's like for
You're
years, I think
amazing.
I spent reading books. I was doing self-help books, being a counselor, I'd done everything, but nothing was actually making us get rid of this anxiety, this horrible feeling inside where you just want to crawl, get out of the body and have somebody else's,
I love
just
you.
shake that one off.
Right?
Yeah. And now this one, it's like, since I've understood and I can understand what's going on with all the workshop, it's like it's new and it's good and it's normal. That's the thing. I don't need tablet. I've never ever took drugs or anything like tablets from the doctor. I didn't want to because I knew I wasn't crazy. I just didn't know how to find a way out. Um, and I knew it was all about understanding and knowing that I was normal. And
Yeah.
everybody's normal, but I think everybody seems to be programmed from birth upwards to a certain way. And we get stuck in that loop.
So we're
And I think,
normal. We're what
yeah,
the message is, we're normal. We need understanding and boundaries and release and healing. That's the
yeah,
takeaway. Just starting
yeah,
with that. I mean,
definitely.
there's a lot more work we do,
Yes.
but just
The
those
boundaries are
points.
big.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The boundaries are huge because I've just putting those in and sitting with the feeling that I wasn't used to. It was like, oh, but then it was empowering because I was thinking, no, I did it. I did it. I'm still alive and people are still speaking to me and actually they're speaking nicer to me. So all these nice things, it's like, oh,
That's a
really good.
really great point and learning lesson that when you first put them in place, it's uncomfortable, but you sit with it. And it's only uncomfortable because of that love attachment piece that we've learned from
Yeah.
childhood. We think we need love, and that's why we get pushed so much, or we walk on eggshells, or we become codependent. And so when you first put those boundaries in, a person, you, me, we feel like we can lose that love. And as that happened to me too, as the more we sit with it, it can feel almost uncomfortable, like you're coming off of an addiction. And then when the people in your life, that's what I love about you, how your family members are showing up different. They're talking to you better. They're offering you nice things. And it's all because of you. You did the work. You owned your part. You healed yourself. It's not blaming anyone else, no matter all. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And the way that you've loved yourself and healed and released it shows that anybody can do it. It just takes awareness and a desire.
Yes, that's it. I think there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of my friends who I talk to, and there's some of them I think, oh, come and do a program. You'll like this. But there's other ones who I think they're not ready because they're closed off and they're just stuck there, which is sad. But hopefully they'll get that way, like turn it round. But there's other people who are really quite excited by the change, and it's good.
Isn't that fun? Feels so good.
My best friend from over here, I've only known her 6 years, but I feel like I've known her forever. And she's seen me warts and all when I've been in a mess, everything. And she said to me the other day, she says, Sandra, you have turned your life 180 degrees. She says, honestly, it's like you've learned so much. And she says that you are not the person that came over to Canada 6 years ago.
Wow. That's the
that
best.
Was really lovely for her to see, because I was a bit of a mess.
Slightly, huh? Well, and who could blame you? You were in a hard situation. And that is the best compliment you can hear. And that's so
Isn't
beautiful.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, I think you really said everything. Those are the most important teaching points, that you're normal. You don't understand that you've had trauma, but when you have symptoms like overthinking and anxiety, something overwhelming has happened, which is a form of trauma. People don't like the word trauma, don't use it, but if you don't feel good, there's something you need to do about it. And with support, awareness, and learning to take care of yourself and have those boundaries. And I like how you say, sit with it, sit with the new ways. Now you start to feel better, right? Now, when you do it, you're more empowered, instead of like, oh gosh, that was uncomfortable and hard. But what's cool is, even when it's uncomfortable or hard, when I started to do boundaries and love myself, my anxiety went away. So I would rather it be hard and uncomfortable than ever have that kind of anxiety again.
Yeah.
And anxiety is just your body saying, don't let me be pushed anymore. Anxiety, fear, that's our friend saying, take care of me. I have a signal. This is negative. This isn't okay. And it can be small things, like even with parenting, don't let your kids push you. I mean, I think kids are God's way of teaching us to love ourselves, because children, even I noticed practicing with my 2-year-old and 13-year-old, it's not that much different. They want the boundaries.
They do. Yeah.
And it teaches. What?
There's not enough boundaries out there now for children, because the discipline and things have been taken away, and the children are reacting because there's no boundaries in place.
Exactly.
And they're scared because we're the ones that are supposed to be putting the boundaries in, and then they feel safe. If they haven't got that, that's when they go crazy.
That's a great point. When you put the boundaries in, you actually make children feel safe, because they need to see strong role models. So let's let that motivate us as parents and humans to show a role model of self-love and boundaries, and it will help our children, even if it's tough love.
Yeah,
amen.
But it's tough love. Yeah, that's what I said to mine. You'll thank me one day. She says, I don't think so. I went, you will.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh, Sandra, this was amazing. I feel like you literally said everything that in a simple way, because when we don't feel good, it's hard to take in information. So my whole goal to help people is to keep it simple. What's it? Keep it
simple.
Keep it simple, stupid, or healing trauma for dummies. I feel like I'm the keep it simple. We all have to. Yeah.
I do. I love it. I'm so pleased I found your page, because honestly, It really has turned my life.
Oh,
It
thank
has.
you.
I've never felt so good to have in this last few months.
Thank
And you're always there to help as well. And that's what's lovely.
Thank you. Well,
Yeah.
that's my privilege. There's nothing that I want
Yeah.
more than my clients getting results. Like that's what I fight for. And I make sure
Yeah.
we do whatever it takes so that you feel better. And if you're not, there's a way and we'll find it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there always is. I have so
Yeah.
many tools in my pocket, but it always comes down to what you just talked about. And those are the
Yeah.
people that are
Little
finding
ones.
me.
Yeah. I think that's lovely. I know. And do you know what? I think you find people, the universe puts you in a place where you meet people in your life that you need to be connected with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that point means we don't need to go be connected with everyone. We don't have to change anyone. Just be grateful for the few people that feel like they know you and you know them and you make each other better. I never had that in my life till later too. And now that's all I'm around, people that make me feel better. And no matter if we make mistakes, we can apologize, we can grow, we can learn. If people aren't willing to do that, then how do you grow with someone? You'll grow apart, and that's okay. They're on their own journey, but you do you, and everything flows.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. This was perfect today.
Oh,
Right to the point, short and sweet.
yeah.
Well, I'm so happy you came into my life, and I hope this helped people for today. And if they have any questions, they can message us, and we'll be there for them.
Yep. Totally.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks,
We'll say bye for now.
okay then.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.